Hi, this is Chris Altrock in Memphis, Tennessee. I'd like to share a simple spiritual practice with you that I call Power Up. The righteous use of power to bless others and the unrighteous use of power to harm others is a theme that is woven throughout human history. It's a theme that is woven throughout Scripture. Jesus himself models the most righteous use of power. Paul says in Philippians 2 that Jesus is equal to God. Jesus has all the power that is possible to possess. And yet Jesus does not exploit that power. He does not use that power simply for his own personal gain. Rather, he uses that power for our benefit. We too are called to use power to bless, to use our power for God's purposes. And like Jesus, we're called to stand against the abusive uses of power. Time and time again, Jesus stood against the unrighteous use of power, even by religious people. I've developed a simple spiritual practice that you can use to do this. I call it Power Up. We power up so that we can surrender our powers to God's purposes, and we power up so that we can stand against the abusive use of power in our world. Let me walk you through this spiritual practice. First, make a fist with your hand. This clenched fist is a symbol used throughout human history. It stands for strength and solidarity and defiance. And then one by one, unclench each finger in your fist, and as you do, say this prayer. Your thumb. To you, Father, I surrender my power of perks, power to reward people. The next finger. To you, Father, I surrender my power of pain, the power I have to harm others. The next finger. To you, O Lord, I surrender my power of position, the power I have because of a title or a role. The next finger. To you, O Lord, I surrender my power of professionalism, the power that I have because of some expertise or training or knowledge that I have. And then finally, the small finger. To you, Lord, I surrender my power of personhood, the power that I have because of my character, my charisma. And then just rest for a moment with your hand open, symbolizing your desire to surrender all of your powers for God's purposes. And then one by one, we're going to re-clench our fingers. And as we do, we're going to say a very different kind of prayer. And so we begin with the thumb. And we say, use me, O God, to stand against the abusive use of perks. The next finger, use me, O God, to stand against the abusive power of pain. The next finger, use me, O God, to stand against the abusive power of position. The next finger, use me, O God, to stand against the abusive use of the power of professionalism. And the last finger, use me, O God, to stand against the abusive power of personhood. And rest for a moment with your hand clenched, symbolizing your commitment to stand against the abusive powers at work in our world. I encourage you to practice this each day as a way of surrendering your many powers to God's purposes, as a way of symbolizing your own commitment to stand against the abusive use of power in our world. God bless you, my friends.